This mouse always brings me memories of Gandalf and Shadowfax. Show us the meaning of haste. Good afternoon, welcome to Turbo Tortoise Tech. If you're new here, I'm Reese of the 4-piece variety or Triple XL. And if you've been around this channel more than once, you may know that I absolutely love a gaming mouse, which is why I had great restraint last week and went for the Duocast first and then went for the second, especially because I daily drive a Pulsefire Haste, the V1 wireless. I thought it was genuinely one of the best mouse I've ever used. I grew up on the ye-olde Evetech X7, showing my age, and its ambidextrous type shape, and this was very similar to that, just an improved variant of that, if anything. And now the Haste 2 leaves me in a bit of a conundrum space because it's brought a lot of really good updates to its chassis, but they've also done a part swap out that I can't help but feel precludes it, at least for me personally, from being something that I would use. Anywho, we obviously have the wonderful packaging and box. They have made this a lot smaller than it was on the V1. So yeah, more compact, better overall packaging, I've got to say. And that contents being something that they genuinely do not need any help with. They've given an amazing little connecting puck block type setup for the Type C and for the Type A on the other side for the 2.4 gigahertz receiver. Very nice braided flex, ultra flexible cable, obviously the mouse, and then something I actually forgot to take out of the package and put on film was these two pieces of grip tape so that you can modify the mouse with rubbery bits if you like that, and then a full set of feet, not just for the four corners, but even for the center hole cover, which is something that I don't see very often or almost ever. So package contents and included kits that comes with the mouse is exceptionally good. The connecting puck, is, like I said, is practically perfect. It's the way that I would execute this. On the bottom end, it has rubberizing as well, so it's not going to slip around on the table or anything to that effect. It's very nicely finished. Even the Type C has HyperX branding on it so that you know it's your HyperX cable. The dongle is a bit shouty with all of its CE, UK, CA, EAC stuff, but then on the bottom over here, it's got a nice little HyperX logo, so you know that it's the dongle that you're looking for. The mouse itself, like I said, structurally and shape-wise, is pretty much perfect in my opinion. The new matte finish, I will say, will probably be an acquired taste for some. The tactile finish on this, the sort of rougher edge you can hear as I'm rubbing it like that. Yeah, it's not gonna, I wish a HyperX Genie would pop out of here. That would be flipping awesome. But anyway, the finish on it is great. The scroll wheel and the front side is got really nice cupping over there for your fingers. The little DPI switch is there behind the scroll, and it's perfectly positioned. It's really hard to just bump on the casual. You got two thumb buttons on the side as well, basically perfect in position. Around the bottom, you have the 4 feet, and then the sensor hole cover as well. There's a little recess in the back for your dongle so that you can store it there while you're on the go, and then you've got your switch over there to switch between Bluetooth off and 2.4 gigahertz. On the off mode, you can still connect it via the cable and then use it like that. Not that you'll be doing that, because yeah, the battery life on this is exceptional. They quote up to 100 hours. That's very realistic. After using it for like 20 hours with a full RGB and such going, it dropped like 20-25%. So it's about 1% per hour. It's very realistic, and that was with the RGB on. If you turn it off, you're probably going to extend past that. So yeah, very, very good as far as that goes. Weight, exceptional, 61 grams. It's right in line with AAA premium mouse from that perspective. Everything pretty much is. You've got a 26K DPI sensor on here with 50 IPS or 500 IPS, or was it 450? But it's fast. A lot of IPSs, and the 50G acceleration means you're not going to skip it out. Even the top end pros are only hitting like 250, 300 IPS. So it's well over the top of that. So tracking performance, exceptional. Basically exactly the same as the V1 product. The major changes are obviously going to a full body design, no more honeycomb. So for those who don't like dust buildup inside of their product or are worried about that, worry no more. But this is where we get to a bit of a but. The switches have been changed out for a HyperX variant, and left and right click don't even feel the same. I thought it was like something I was being a bit sensitive to, because they are quite noticeably different in feel from the V1 product, but the left and right click don't even have the same audio. Check this out. They even sound different when you use them. And so the left feels a little bit hollow and the right almost too sharp and almost too crispy. And these are exactly the same switches. That's very weird. They should be, because of it being a ambidextrous type design, almost exactly the same. But even when I look around the front over here, I can see the left click actually sits slightly lower than the right click, which is kind of weird. And the result of this, and with a little bit of body scrape that it didn't have before, it's sometimes like almost touching on the bottom right over here, and you can actually feel it from time to time, which is a bit like, it gives you a bit like krill, as the Afrikaans would say, kind of feeling from that. And so after a little while, as I took it out of the box, amazing. The performance, don't get me wrong, for FPS gaming mouse, it's still exceptional, but these buttons could be a make or break for you as a user. I'm not against HyperX doing their own switch, but it should have been better than the previous gen, if anything. This is a little bit of a step back. Otherwise, exceptional. It's still a 9 out of 10 product. It's just not quite 10 out of 10 because I don't like the way that these feel. Thumb buttons are still fantastic. They are perfectly positioned. They feel really nice. They're not uber loud or anything like that. You can hear a little bit of an offset there, a bit of ping from the body and stuff, but it really isn't all that noticeable. But this left and right click feeling different, it could be enough to make you go, maybe I don't like this mouse, sort of thing. So just be aware of that. It's not as bad as like, okay, I'm going to throw homie under the bus here, but still Series Prime Mini. You'll see in pretty much every review, everybody complaining about how hollow and stuff those clicks were. It's not that bad. It's just not as crisp as previous gen. If you like the way the buttons feel on the previous gen, maybe you rather stick to that. They still are available. The price point of this is a little bit higher than the previous generation. It does have a little bit better in every single aspect. Body, design, etc. Just feel like the clicks were the major thing that they probably shouldn't have done. And it feels bad to say that because I've really been enjoying HyperX products, especially the audio products. Their mic, their interfaces, exceptional, like groundbreaking, really industry defining stuff. I wouldn't have bought a Pulsefire Haste if I didn't like it. I obviously really liked their product. I completely switched off of a brand that I'd been on for years prior to that, just because of how it felt and the weight and everything like that. I love it. I still love it. I'm gonna get another one because I broke the scroll because Wookie XXL things. But this one, I just go, it was so close to being perfect. And then you did the switch. I'm sorry, HyperX, HP guys there. I love your products. I love what you're doing. Just, these are no from me. If you're okay with it, it's still going to be a great purchase. The build quality, battery life, it all speaks for itself. Wireless is fantastic. Absolutely lossless. I did have one other thing that I want to warn you about is with the Ingenuity software doing the firmware update. I did have a problem with it where I needed to have both connected, the dongle and the cable for the mouse connected at the same time to be able to do the update. It was giving me a problem with that, which I think they need to kind of address with the Ingenuity software. It is very early editions of these kinds of software, so it does cause kind of problems with that every so often. Other than that, it was smooth sailing. If you want to change DPIs and do macros, etc. and stuff in the software, you'll be absolutely fine with that. Like I say, just watch out for that firmware update. But if you connect both, then suddenly everything works. So not the end of the world by any measure, but just be aware that that's something that you might run into. Anywho, that is all I have for you on the HyperX Pulsefire Haste 2 wireless. If you have enjoyed this review, please do hit us up with a like and subscribe, and we will see you on the flip side. Are you ready now? 'Cause it won't be